The rain didn't just fall that night, it attacked. It slammed against the windows like fists, rattled the old wooden frames, and flooded the quiet street in sheets of silver. Thunder rolled like a warning across the sky. And then, someone knocked. Hard. Desperate. Again and again. Daniel froze. He wasn't expecting anyone. Not at this hour. Not in this weather. His 5-year-old daughter, Lily, stirred on the couch behind him, clutching her blanket tighter. "Daddy, who is it?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know," he replied, his eyes fixed on the door. The knocking came again, louder this time, weaker too, like whoever was out there was running out of strength. Daniel hesitated for only a second before stepping forward. He wasn't the kind of man who ignored someone in need, not anymore. He opened the door. And she fell into him. A young woman, soaked to the bone, shivering violently, her hair plastered to her face, her breath uneven. Her knees gave out the moment the door swung open, and if Daniel hadn't caught her, she would have hit the ground. "Please," she gasped. "Don't let him find me." Her voice cracked with pure terror. Daniel's heart dropped. He pulled her inside without another word and shut the door quickly, locking it. "Lily, go to your room," he said gently but firmly. "But now, sweetheart." Lily nodded and ran down the hallway, glancing back once at the strange woman collapsed in her father's arms. Daniel helped the woman onto the couch. Up close, he could see bruises forming along her wrist, fingerprints. Someone had grabbed her, hard. Hey, you're safe," he said softly. "You're okay." She shook her head, eyes wide and unfocused. "No, he'll come. He always comes." "Not here," Daniel said, more firmly now. "Not tonight." He didn't know if that was true, but he needed her to believe it. He grabbed a towel and a blanket, wrapping them around her shaking shoulders. "What's your name?" She hesitated. For a moment, it seemed like she might not answer. "Ava." "I'm Daniel." A loud crack of thunder shook the house, and Ava flinched violently, grabbing his arm. Hey, it's just thunder," he reassured her. But she wasn't reacting to the storm. She was reacting to something worse. "Did someone hurt you?" he asked carefully. Ava looked down at her hands. Silence stretched between them. Then, almost inaudibly, she whispered, "He doesn't let me leave." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Who?" "My husband." The word hung heavy in the air. Daniel felt something shift inside him, something protective, something angry. "Does he know you're here?" She shook her head quickly. "I ran when he fell asleep. I didn't take anything, no phone, nothing. If he wakes up." A car passed outside. Ava's entire body stiffened. Daniel followed her gaze toward the window, his instincts kicking in. He stood slowly and peeked through the curtain. Just headlights moving down the street. But still. He locked the back door too. "You're staying here tonight," he said firmly. "No one's coming in." Ava looked at him, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Why would you help me?" Daniel paused. For a moment, he saw not Ava, but someone else. A memory. A different night. A different storm. A different woman, crying silently while trying to pretend everything was fine. His late wife. "I didn't help someone once when I should have," he said quietly. "I'm not making that mistake again." Ava didn't understand the full meaning behind those words, but she felt the weight of them. And for the first time since she arrived, she relaxed. Just a little. The night stretched on slowly. Daniel made tea. Ava sat curled up on the couch, wrapped in blankets, her eyes darting at every sound. At one point, Lily peeked around the corner. "Daddy, is she okay?" Daniel smiled gently. She's just a little hurt. Like when you fall and scrape your knee. Lily walked over slowly, holding her favorite stuffed rabbit. Without saying a word, she placed it in Ava's lap. Ava blinked in surprise. You can have Mr. Floppy, Lily said softly. He helps me when I'm scared. Something inside Ava broke. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she clutched the toy. Thank you, she whispered. Lily smiled and ran back to her room. Daniel watched the moment carefully. A small, simple act of kindness. But sometimes, that's all it takes to remind someone they're still human. Around 2 a.m., there was another sound. Not thunder. Not rain. A car door slamming. Ava's head snapped up, panic flooding her face. He found me. Daniel moved instantly. Stay here, he said. But she grabbed his arm. No, please, don't leave me. I'm not leaving, he said calmly. I'm making sure he doesn't come in. He stepped toward the door, his heart pounding, but his face steady. A shadow moved past the frosted glass. A knock came. Slow. Deliberate. Daniel opened the door just a crack. A man stood there, drenched in rain, eyes cold and searching. Have you seen my wife? He asked. Daniel didn't blink. No. The man studied him carefully, trying to look past him into the house. I think she came this way. Then keep looking, Daniel replied. A long, tense silence. Then the man smirked slightly. If you see her, tell her she belongs to me. Daniel's voice hardened. No one belongs to anyone. The man's expression darkened, but after a moment, he turned and walked back into the rain. Daniel didn't close the door immediately. He watched until the car drove away. Only then did he lock it. When he turned back, Ava was standing there, shaking. He won't stop, she said. He never stops. Daniel stepped closer. Yes, he will. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. How do you know? Because this time, he said, you didn't run alone. The next morning, the storm was gone. Sunlight filtered softly through the windows, as if the world itself had decided to start over. Daniel helped Ava contact the police. It wasn't easy. She was scared. Hesitant. Broken in ways that don't heal overnight. But she did it. And that changed everything. Weeks later, Ava stood outside a small apartment, her apartment. A fresh start. Daniel and Lily stood beside her. I don't know how to thank you, Ava said. You already did, Daniel replied. You chose to fight back. Lily hugged her tightly. And you still have Mr. Floppy. Ava laughed through her tears. I'll keep him forever. As she stepped inside her new home, she paused and looked back. For the first time. She wasn't afraid of who might be behind her. Sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do, is knock on a door in the middle of a storm. And sometimes, the most powerful thing another person can do, is open it. Because one act of kindness, one moment of courage, can be the difference between fear and freedom.